Guys. Hi, my name is Mio Clemente and this is my audience. Okay, so today for my informative speech, I'm gonna talk about the crisis in Venezuela that it's my native country. So I'm gonna take three main points to talk about this. So let's start. Economic problems. We have like high rate inflation. Venezuela is also a petro state, and the monopolization of the public services. I'm gonna explain like a little bit of one of those. If we talk about high rate inflation, it is well known when the current money of a country raise their price compared to other money. A good example for this, if we compare the dollars, American dollars, with the bolivares, that is the money of Venezuela, you have to pay for $1 millions and millions of bolivares. So it's kind of ridiculous. So it's basically the inflation that we have there. Also related with inflation, we have that Venezuela is a petrostate. What does that mean, a petrostate? A petrostate is when a country economy is only based on petroleum. They don't dedicate money for anything else, so the only income for the country is petroleum. So that's another thing. When the prices of the petroleum decrease, it generates a high inflation. We also have the monopolization of the public services. A good example of this, if we talk about the food of the country, there's only one enterprise that can sell you all the food that the people has. It's not like here in the United States that we have like any kind of small business, big companies that can give you the same product but in different brands. So next we have this chart based on 2011 and 2019 that it can explain us how the inflation increases. Now we have political relations. Here we have international economic blockades, internal conflicts between government and opposition, and misallocation of economic resources. We have an international economic blockades because Venezuela is well known that has bad relationships with other governments, and a good example of this is that the Venezuela government has bad relationship with the United States government, so they put like blockades on the country that they don't allow Venezuela to do commerce with other countries. So that's another reason of the bad economy and the crisis. Also, we have internal conflicts between the government and opposition. The Venezuela government has like 24 years in the cabinet. While it doesn't allow other people govern the country, there's a high rate of population that is the opposite of them, and it's been fighting all over these years to create a new government or have different kinds of mindsets to govern the country. So this drives the country to a lot of conflicts, protests, a lot of disasters over the country. And we also have the misallocation of economic resources. There's a bunch of people that governs the country that most of the resources that Venezuela generates, they keep them for themselves instead of distribute them for all the population. So we can see people with a lot of money and people that live on extremely poorness. So we also have Venezuela population that it's I can say it's the main thing that we are going to talk about because it's all based on the past things that we talk. So we have high rates of crime and violence, famine, and low quality of life. Venezuela is well known as the most dangerous countries all over the world, and it's all based because if you don't have a good economy and you don't have like the resources to keep your population in a good spot, in a good state, people's gonna start doing crime, a lot of violence. There's a lot of kidnaps every year. The data that we can collect about that is ridiculous too. We also have the famine. There's a lot of people that suffers this on Venezuela, also based on the misallocation of resources on Venezuela. There's a lot of people that is starving, that doesn't have the food that they need every day, or they don't have the sources to provide to their home, and that's another big crisis that we have. and the low quality of life. Based on all this, as I said before, there's a lot of people that live on a bad situation or in poor neighborhoods, so poor neighborhoods that they have to build their houses with, I don't know, like only bricks and that's it. So if we think about it, that's not a good situation for the population to live. I can say it's more than the 50% of the population that live in that situation. So to finish my presentation, I would like to show you these symbolic images that can explain better how is the fight that we live from Venezuela, or as I used to live from Venezuela. And most of the people that live there suffers every day. So this is it. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you.